Okay, guys, I realized I made a video that was a little bit long and convoluted, maybe have some entertainment value, but I want a short one to talk about your gauge. So, I believe it's important to start getting a new gauge for after the pandemic on how you can get new numbers. And it's kind of scary to me because I don't have all the numbers on where I'm at and things of my own investments, but I've just got to get the data and I have some gauges to talk about. But as I'm thinking about this, do you see what this is right here? That's the actual gauge from the last time we flooded. And in my neighborhood, I didn't even know this, but they were pointed out to me in certain areas of where the last flood was, right? So you got people's houses, and right over there is the water that I was talking about earlier in a different video that we kind of go swimming in. And so that is my kind of thing I want you guys to start looking into for yourself. And I'm in real estate. I am really wanting I'm kind of betting on how strong the housing market is, to say it bluntly. And I want to find gauges on how strong the housing market is really post pandemic, because I'm just not seeing folks and their metrics make sense to what I'm seeing boots on the ground. And, there's the gauge I'm walking past every day. So go look at that video. It has to do with Canadian real estate. And I'm going to try and, use that more clearly on this video. And so what happened in Canadian real estate, and the topic we're talking about is how strong is housing in Canada and the US. I think they're similar enough that we can draw comparisons. So we're talking about how strong is the housing market right now, with all of the buyers taking a step back, and there's not a whole lot of people wanting to move, so they're not selling. And this was even more so a problem in Canada, if you want to take a look. And I found, I was down looking at making my moves down in Tucson, and I bumped into some Canadians. And they literally were fearful that their kids were not going to be able to buy houses. And go look at my other video, but the look on their face said, I don't want my kids to have to live with me, kind of thing for their success. And within months of meeting them and hearing that, they put a moratorium in Canada. So you have to be Canadian in order to buy real estate in Canada. And they didn't want, wealthy investors to come up and buy things, buy the infrastructure. And so what has happened since then is also a narrative I want to point out. They're saying that the housing market has plummeted. And they're saying it's plummeted with a market number of 10%. And to me, 10% is not plummeted. And so let's look at more metrics to give this some more context. Canada is the size of Texas. So if we went in and said, in Texas, you can't buy any more real estate unless you're Texan, I gotta believe that the real estate market would go down by more than 10%. Okay. And that's the whole country of Canada, guys. So tell me I'm wrong, but let's have a real conversation about the numbers when we're talking about how strong the housing market is what I want to talk about, because that's what matters to me. And I think it matters to most Americans, because most of us have real estate, and most of us have a lot of equity in that real estate. So what is your new metric of how much time I'm spending with my kids, per se, right? Maybe you're not talking about or thinking about real estate, but maybe you're thinking about happiness and budgeting your time. So maybe I'm counting how many times we go to the park or have Taco Tuesday, right? All I'm saying is just find a gauge that's new, post-pandemic, rooted in whatever it is that's giving you joy or you're interested in. And me, I'm going to advise on real estate, and I'm going to talk about real numbers. And I don't hear anybody else talking about this stuff. And so that's why you can see me a little kind of amped up, and these may go a little longer, I guess. But tell me I'm wrong. Let's talk about topics that are important to us. And I think how strong the housing market is not being talked about correctly because of their numbers. Have a great day.